Five, four, three, two, one. Hey, YouTubers and friends, how are all of you doing tonight? Have a little patience with me tonight. I'm using StreamYard and not my normal medium for live streaming. Let me see, David Carlisle. You know, there's like 3 Davids here, so yeah, Dave is here, man. Good to see you, David Villa, David Alfonsotti, Mama Veronica's in the house. How you doing? And Nikki, the Opal Queen, all the way from Australia. It's great to see you, Nikki. Great to see you. And all the rest of you wonderful people. Mandy's Candy got a wicked win over at Grandma Kelly's live stream the other night. A Mind Lab Xterra Pro. Nice, Mandy. Nice. Mr. Lodak, world greatest moderator. Great to see you, brother. And whoever else is in the chat, blistering barnacles from the other side of the pond. Great to see you. And that might be it for now. I don't know if I missed you. I'm sorry. I'm old. I'm blonde. And that's my excuse. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. Tonight we have Jeff from Digging It in Dahlonega. He was the guy who got my guest co-host tonight, Aaron, on Dave Turin's Backyard Gold. He will learn more about Jeff during the show. But like normal, I had to greet all of you first. I was debating about having a monologue tonight, but as you see, I did. Jason E. Minor, how are you? Good to see all of you. So with no more further ado, let's get the show started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live with your host Ed Marvin. Tuesday Night Hangout Live is a Flash in Your Pan production.
Welcome back, Aaron, as guest co-host.
What's going on?
Welcome to Tuesday Night Hangout Live, Jeff. Glad
How we
you're
all doing?
here. Good here, I believe.
Well, that's good.
How's everyone out there? They look
Doing
good
good.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are we there yet?
Oh, we're there.
Ready to do this.
Your
Ready to
mom's
work.
in the house, Aaron.
Yeah.
Your mom and your future other half.
That's a
That's
fact.
right.
That's a fact.
She was trying to sell you though last night. What's that?
I know. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that.
All right. Let's put Jeff on the spotlight if I could
All right.
figure out how to do this. There we go. Let me see. No.
All right.
Got you under the spotlight.
All right.
So, Jeff,
Ask away.
how long has it been, and when did you get bit by the gold bug?
Oh shoot. So I've been panning now for about 15 years. I've been living in Dahlonega since 2009. Moved up from Florida. But I've always been interested in rocks and minerals and gold and all that type of stuff for years. Since at least I was 5. Been collecting rocks since as long as I can remember. But it wasn't until the last couple of years or so that I've been really trying to pursue the taking people out and teaching them what to do and trying to show them what give them some of my knowledge and pass it on to other people. I used to work as a tour guide for Consolidated gold mine, and that's when I really started getting the history bug. And I was really wanting to learn more about the gold rush that happened in Dahlonega and trying to learn as much as I can. And I found that I was really good at teaching people, and I was really passionate about it. So I wanted to branch off from Consolidated Gold Mine and start doing something of my own, and that's when I created Digging It in Dahlonega. Which what I do is I take people out to either public or private locations, and I can guarantee that you'll find gold in any one of my locations that I take you to. I teach you how to pan, whether you know how to pan or not. If you're experienced or not, I'll teach you what to do. Good techniques on how to find gold, how to read the rivers and streams, what kind of minerals and what kind of rocks and things you need to look for when you're in the rivers and creeks. And I provide equipment to provide everything that you'll need to find the gold out there. I also teach about the history of the town while you're out there. You get to be out in beautiful Dahlonega, out in nature, which is key. I think.
Dahlonega is in a beautiful part of Georgia too.
It truly is, yes. We're right at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, so it's an absolutely gorgeous place to be, especially in the summer, in the fall area. I mean, you get the changing of the colors up here in the fall, so you can come up here with the leaf peepers and check out the leaves, and then get in the river and try to find some other shiny yellow stuff.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I absolutely love it in Dahlonega.
Mm-hmm.
It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous landscape, and it's warm a lot longer than other places.
Well, I wonder where you're gonna be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And one note, you'll get a lot more snow where you're at than where I'm at.
I like snow. Shoveling is good exercise.
It's great
Okay.
exercise, but it sucks to work in.
I got lots of practice shoveling, so I'll be good.
You hear that, Careless? So whenever they're shoveling, hand Aaron the shovel. Here you go, Aaron. But one of my good friends right now, Aaron, who actually has a very good permission in mid Ohio. I since you're moving up to the Cleveland area, I bet you Bobby would allow me to bring you to his permission.
I like the
And
sound of that. I like that.
and there's been some nice pickers and small nuggets taken off of that permission. I'll tell you the name of the creek. No, tell them.
I see what you did there.
Shane, Jeff Brewer, Brewers Prospecting. Great to see you. Dan, PA. All of those in the flood torn parts of the Southeast, and even up higher, like in Jeff's neighborhood. Not this Jeff, but Brewer Prospecting neighborhood, who's recovering from the storm. All of you are in my prayers daily, and if all of you out there would pray for them also, there's power in prayer. I believe strongly. What's a small nugget to me? Moto mining
Probably like small nuggets I find.
from the beautiful island of Vancouver. Moto, to me, it isn't a nugget till it's at least a half a gram. So,
Well, I guess what means we're out then. All right, Aaron.
Yeah. See, I have to disagree on that. If it doesn't fit in the snuffer straw, it's a nugget. That's how we judge it in Georgia.
Now, a picker and a poker is smaller than a nugget, but some would still call those a nugget.
Yeah.
Anything chunky that's bigger than a normal picker in my books. Anything over 0.1 is considered a nugget in Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, I've only found one of those, so I have to at least call that a nugget. Otherwise, I've never found a nugget.
Right? See?
You know, there's all kinds of size of nuggets. Sometimes I'll call a large flake a nugget. Oh, look at that. Depends how long it's been, you know.
That's a nugget in Georgia.
What's that? Like 0.2?
Yeah, it's like 0.2. Yeah.
Small
I'll
nugget.
Take it all day.
It's a picker. I'm not gonna throw it back. My name's not Two Toes.
Yeah, I'd scream if I found that piece of gold.
And Gary, if you're looking,
you scream if you find a picker.
Hey, if I have a nice splash in my pan, you know, I'm gonna hoot. Yeah, Eureka, Eureka. Let me say hi to a few people. Mitch, Graveyard Prospecting from Oregon, full of gold, another Aussie in the house. Okay, what does Moto say here? Moto's talking about nuggets, I guess.
Nikki had a question for Jeff.
If it doesn't fit up a turkey baster, it's a nugget. If it
a turkey baster, okay.
Does, it's a picker.
Nikki was asking Jeff if so Jeff, she wants to know, do you do overnight tours or just daytime tours?
I do mostly daytime tours. But I have had people do you can book for weekends. So if, say for instance, if you want to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can do that as well.
Yeah, full of gold, but we're not in Australia.
Yeah, Australia, man. I wish I could come there. Oh my God, that New Zealand. That's gold. That's on bucket list and Holy Grail territory.
You and I both, Jeff. You and I both. Anything over an ounce is a nugget in Australia. Yeah, and anything under is a picker, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are spoiled out there.
Now, in Oregon, it has to be a pennyweight.
Has to be a pennyweight, huh?
All right.
And I know Gary Two Toes. That's all he weighs in his pennyweights.
Yeah, he's an old timer.
Well, that's part of Australia, David V. Tasmania. If I go to Australia and New Zealand, I'm definitely going to Tasmania. I watch a lot of Tassie boys. People. Oh yeah, Levi's great. You know.
Yeah, him and Rob Parsons both, man.
Yeah, a couple of them there.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad you got your card and stickers full of gold. Yeah, I definitely hook up Tassie, and I'd look up my old friend David Buckle.
Never heard of
him. He was doing really good on YouTube for a while, but he went another direction. He was on a show where they had couple of teams of snipers, and it broadcasted in Australia. I don't know how it went because they wouldn't let me watch it. But David, if you're lurking like some of you lurkers out there, we love you and hope all is well. But yeah, I think Levi was also on the same TV show as David, and they were on separate teams though. But Levi, he's one heck of a sniper, and
that's no doubt.
good thing to be young again, I tell you.
He's doing some bushwhacking out there to get to those spots.
Yeah, you have to hike in for quite a ways to get to those really good choice spots.
Well, that reminds me a lot of back home in the North Cascades.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I could find gold in the creek in my backyard and catch salmon, but to get to the nice stuff, it was a hike, a drive, a hike. Was quite.
Yeah, all the best spots are the ones that are secluded.
Yeah, the harder to get to, the better gold's going to be in a gold mining area.
That's for sure.
Is it like birding, says Moto? I don't think I've ever been birding.
I've never been bird watching.
Yeah.
Just snorkeling. Creek snuffer bottles, huh? Yeah.
Oh, Moto's full of crap. He knows what sniping is. Paul C's from Ohio. He says, in Ohio, if you can see it,
if you can see it under, there you go.
10 plus magnification.
Yeah.
It's a picker. Yeah, sometimes, Paul. Sometimes.
What's up, Paul?
Sniper, not to snipe. In tip-top shape. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's for sure, PA. I'm a little old for that.
Yeah, they have to climb over all kinds of crazy terrain and hills. I've seen the terrain, the canyons they have to get down into. I mean, it's wild. Love to do it, but still crazy.
David, not that kind of snipe hunting.
Yeah.
Not that kind of snipe hunting.
Oh, Terry Marshall got his stickers too, so they made it all the way to Australia. Terry Lefty Marshall, good to see you. Glad I got you. They got to you well. It's like fish watching, Moto.
Yeah.
We can go snipe hunting if you want to. I am not holding the bag. Ever remember playing that in Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got Bent Fork in the house. What's up, Bent Fork?
Good to see you, Scott.
That's another Dahlonega prospector for you.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen him quite a bit in my past.
Yeah, he is, and he's getting those in Eastern Tennessee, Mitch. I have a private chat I'm in where I get to see all kinds of goodies that Mayhem gets. Jeff Brewer's got his stickers too. Good. And Rob, I haven't mailed yours out if you're in here, Gold.
I got my flash stickers.
Excellent. You'll get more. I haven't seen or heard of David Buckle in a long time. He went a bit loopy and deleted his channel twice. And he had his own TV show, but only had one episode, I believe. I was wondering how the TV show went. I know I don't want to speak ill of David, but he's a good guy and he's a friend. I love him, but he had some medical issues, you might want to say, with temperament. and he could go a little overboard at times. But last time I reached out to him, he assured me he was doing okay. And he had some other personal stuff going on. Oh, and there's white gold right there. Yeah, it's right here, Rob. It's right here. It's addressed. I just need to get to the post office.
We got a question for Jeff from
What's
Careless
that?
Whispers. If you had to choose one favorite gem or crystal, what would it be? But it can't be gold.
Oh, that's easy. Tourmaline. I have a massive collection of all different kinds of tourmaline.
All
I went out to California and got a whole bunch of the Pala Chief mine tourmaline. So I
Oh,
got
San
kunzite.
Diego, Southern
Yeah.
California.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Was able to get some morganites and kunzite and some aquamarine mixed with morganite. But I got some Paribo tourmaline, which is that blue-green stuff, which is probably my favorite. And then I got some
Watermelon?
I've got watermelon, and the most iconic for the Pala Chief mine is the rubellite tourmaline that's blue capped. And I have a few of those. It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, white gold says that's in San Diego, not far from me, to the north. I thought it was more by Santee.
In fact,
Let me look here.
I was gonna say I had some sitting on my table. Oh yeah.
Now we like our treasure porn here. Doesn't matter what
Here
kind
you
it
go.
is.
There's some tourmaline right there. Some black tourmaline
right.
from right here in
Sweet.
Georgia.
Nice.
David wants the show and tell already. Are we saving the show and tell for later?
Oh, it could be as we go.
As we go.
We shoot from the hip here.
My house is filled with rocks. I have more rocks in my house than furniture. So
let me
get attest to that. I've been there.
For the super chat.
Hey, Terry Marshall.
Nice.
31 Australian.
Nice.
Now that's a good I might for you right there.
Good eye, mate. Oh no. My fiance is moving in with you, Jeff.
Yeah.
She wants your
Sorry,
rock.
Ari, I'm moving.
She sold me for rocks.
There's rocks in the bathroom. There's rocks in the living room. There's rocks in the bedroom. There's rocks in the kitchen. There's rocks everywhere.
That is a fact.
It is a nice big tourmaline. Hi, Gail.
Hey, Gail. All
right. Full of gold says a house full of rocks is better than a head full
there's
of
some rocks in my head too.
Right. Oh, that's funny. All right. So, Picker Canyon.
Yeah. Picker Canyon's been very good to us this year. I found a very nice. I got the permission on a very nice place that's very close by to where I live. It's in a very steep canyon. It's very secluded. We have found 39 pickers and 10 small nuggets in this one spot over the course of the summer. Not over the year, over the summer, which has been very, very good to us. We have found, let's see, about 8 grams of gold from Picker Canyon this summer, and a slew of pickers.
And let's just say that's all pan and shovel. He's digging by hand.
Just all by pan and shovel. No sluice box, no high banker well, high banker twice. But we're talking about a mini monster, not nothing huge.
Right.
And we're not pushing out a lot of material. I would say probably when we used the high banker, we only ran it for about 4 hours, and we probably did 5 or 6 5-gallon buckets worth of material. And that was over Debbie Dirt Digger and me. So, have you ever met Debbie Dirt Digger?
Yeah, I've been trying to tell Jeff to get a dredge in there, but he's not having it.
No, don't think the landowner would love having dredge down there.
You never know.
Trust me, he doesn't like the fact that I'm bringing people down there, period.
Oh, well,
yeah.
You just got to get him to catch gold fever.
Yeah. He's been not too happy about all of the social media attention it's been getting.
So we'll just keep that.
Be very careful what you show.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to find this no matter what you show. You can show whatever you want. They're not going to find this place.
This place is. Yeah, no. People are very. I mean, as you know from watching the America's Backyard show, you know, we didn't show the house. We didn't show where we filmed that place, and yet kayakers were able to find it anyway.
Yeah.
Based on the bedrock that was shown in the river. People are crafty. They'll figure out a way to find that place.
Crafty.
Yeah.
It's an understatement was sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I used to show a lot of gold.
Yeah.
Now I show very little. Boom. And I used to show up more where I was and stuff. And now I don't.
Yeah.
And the bad part is people like seeing the gold, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's one reason why I went to live streaming more than producing edited videos and stuff. Because, hey, you don't know where I found anything I may show you, you know, right? During a live. Unless I'm on the river or something like Bent Fork or Aaron or something. So, so your a goal of yours is to make this a full-time gig.
Well, I really would like to find more locations, and that's my goal this winter. Is I have Picker Canyon, but I know that Picker Canyon is not always going to be a permanent location. It's probably not going to last much longer. I do have 2 other locations. I have one location which is really good. I haven't taken too many people to it this year, but it's definitely worth the go to. It's a small creek, probably only about 2 feet wide. And you can find rubies and garnets and topaz and all kinds of crazy stuff all in the same creek as well as gold. I probably found 10,000 carats of rubies out there. I mean, it's in Dahlonega. It's not in North Carolina. It's in Dahlonega. And we've got rhodolite garnets out there. Beautiful, big, perfectly clear purple garnets that come out of that creek.
I found some of them myself, for sure.
Yeah. Took Aaron out there. Aaron found a bunch of really nice garnets. He found a couple. What did you find? 2 rubies? 2?
I mean, I found rubies on multiple occasions there with you. I mean, I probably found maybe 4 to 5 rubies total. But I mean, shoot, I'm not complaining about that. It was just cool. First time I found one, I saw that bubblegum pink color. I was like,
they're bright pink. Yeah.
My friend Nikki, she's a gold prospector and opal miner from Lightning Ridge, Australia. How much do you charge people for your trips?
I charge $100 for 4 hours. $20 for every additional hour if we're finding so much gold that you just don't want to leave just yet. I provide equipment, a vial to put your gold into, and snacks and drinks.
That sounds pretty good to me. I think you're undercharging there, but
a lot of people have said the same thing, but I don't want to steer people away from wanting to go out and just enjoy themselves in nature. And that's really the key of it, you know? I'm going to be out there
is
digging just
pretty.
right alongside you. So it's like bringing a friend and teaching them everything they need to know.
Now that's 4 hours, right? Not
Yes, sir.
$100 for a day.
Well, it's sometimes I've taken people out and if they haven't found gold in the amount of time of 4 hours or at least a decent amount of gold that I would consider, then we've extended it out to 2 or 3 hours later and still charged them 100.
Well, let's just
Because I
say I
want
found
people.
gold in every pan out there.
Yes, but I want people to leave with gold. I've never
Yeah.
had a client not have gold, not leave with gold. Every person that's come on any one of my trips has left with gold.
I certainly have.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Are
That day,
you a member of like Weekend Gold Prospectors also?
nope. I'm not a member of GPAA or Weekend Gold Miners Club or I mainly because I find more gold in my own locations than I find at the Turner property. So why charge? Why go there?
Well, you've been in it for a while. I
That's true.
advocate clubs for greenhorns and
Mm-hmm.
people who are interested because one, the biggest hurdle's land. That's probably one of the biggest hurdles.
Yeah.
Either private property and permissions here or
Mm-hmm.
leases on this side of the Mississippi. On the
Yeah.
west side or British Columbia and West Coast and Western states, then it's claims and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, open land and where clubs can take care of that, and clubs don't have to be GPAA.
Right.
There's a lot of good clubs all around that aren't affiliated with GPAA or the Lost Dutchmans. So, but I am a GPAA member, a Lost Dutchman's member, Ohio State Prospectors Association member. So, and out west, I belong to Bedrock Prospectors and Washington State Small Scale Miners Association. So,
Wow. Ed gets
You got a
around.
lot of clubs under your belt.
well, I've been into this for over 33 years.
Yeah, you got a lot more time than I do.
And I
At
was
least
only,
double.
I've only been out here for like 20 years. So,
Oh wow.
there was a lot of time. I probably over 33 years because I did it well before my youngest was born. Probably about 40 years. I just wish I did it when I was ditching school, go surfing and stuff. I would have, looking back, I would have rather been ditching and go dredging when you could dredge in California.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
Bill Marsh, what the hell, dude? Thought you fell off the boat, dude. Good to see you, Bill. I know you've been busy. Take care, Nikki. Great seeing you, love. Have your husband give you a hug for me. And say hi to the little whippersnapper for me.
Let's see here. What
Yeah,
can I
there's
say?
Yeah,
no
I'm looking at
such
some of these
thing as
pictures.
claims east of the
Yeah.
Mississippi, Robert. You're right. Bobby, you're right. Permissions and leases is all we
Mm-hmm.
have.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everyone, like in GPAA and stuff, or Lost Dutchmans, they go, our claim, our claim. It used to drive me nuts. I'm like,
Yeah.
there ain't no
Mm-hmm.
such thing as a claim east of the Mississippi. I think there's only 12 states in total you could claim in. So
Yeah. Well,
back, Go ahead.
So when Dave, when Dave came and he wanted to start filming the show, and we were trying to find a location for him to film, they were thinking about trying to open up an old mine. And I had to tell him, I was like, look, I said, we're probably only going to be able to do panning here because of the Surface Mining Act of 1968 doesn't allow anyone to do any kind of excavating whatsoever. So that's unfortunate. So everybody has to pan. They just do shovel and pan. And so we were able to find a location that best suited him and be able to get him out onto the creek and river.
Yeah, so like when the show contacted Jeff really early on, Dave Curran's Backyard Gold, America's Backyard Gold. So how long before the show actually aired did you first get in touch with them?
So they contacted me by Facebook, and they were looking for any decent prospector or any really good prospectors in the North Georgia area. And I basically chimed in and said, yeah, I've got about 10 years experience. I used to be a tour guide. At the Consolidated gold mine, and I'm about to start my own business doing this digging in Dahlonega, taking people out. And they hit me up pretty quickly saying, you're the perfect choice, send us your links and send us your email and we'll get back in touch with you. And that was in May, and we filmed in September. So it was quite a while before we were, setting things up and getting locations and trying to find people to pan with me. Because originally I wanted Keith to be on the show with me, and Keith didn't want to do it. So I happened to bump into Aaron at one of my secret spots.
My secret spot.
Wonder which one that was. And and when I got there, I saw a man talking to himself, or at least that's what I thought. And he goes, what are you doing in my I asked him, I said, what are you doing in my secret spot? And he goes, your secret spot? This is my secret spot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was.
And by the way, you want to be on a TV show? Okay.
Yeah, well, we talked for a while. We found out we had a lot in common, and we and I was like, hey, I'm doing this TV show thing, and how would you like to be on it with me? Because I was really looking for somebody who had a lot of the similar prospecting characteristics that I had, a lot of the painting skills that I had, and I needed somebody that knew what they were doing. And you fit all the criterias that I was looking for.
We got another question here from
Carol. There's one too.
Okay, well, so Carol wants to know if you could go anywhere to do your hobby, if it was paid for, like anywhere. You got to pick
anywhere, like in the world, like in the world.
Anywhere. Even Mars. Mars is
Mars, Fort Knox, whatever.
Probably New Zealand. I would love to go to New Zealand. In America, it would be Arizona. I just have this deep passion for Arizona.
Arizona?
Yeah. Like Prescott Valley, Arizona. I love copper minerals, so I'd be out there, looking for malachite and azurite and chrysocolla and all kinds of stuff while I'm looking for. Oh, been to Tombstone, been to Bisbee. I've been all over Arizona. Superstition Mountains, Grand Canyon, Flagstaff, all of it.
Yeah, it's
I love it out there.
State. I lived in Arizona for a little while. Wish I was in prospecting when I lived there too.
Hell, I was even thinking about going to college there. I was even thinking about going to Arizona State.
Now, Gail has a question. Jeff, are there any libraries, archives that would be available to research?
Yes, and I have gone through all of them. So at our Lumpkin County Library, there is a whole section dedicated to just Dahlonaga's past. They have maps. They have genealogy, which is they do all the family histories going all the way back to the early 1800s. They have areas where they talk about Knucklesville, which was what Aurora is named after now. It's it's a treasure trove of anybody looking to find old, basically get the old history of the town. I spend a lot of time in there. They know me. They know me very well. It's definitely a gold mine just by going and doing your research and trying to figure out where all the old mines were, and then kind to talk to the new owners now and the new landowners now and try and get permissions and trying to see if you can get the okays to go out there and do some digging and do some panning. I do a lot of door knocking. I try to find out who the landowners are and just try to get friendly with them, and just be a nice guy. Just show that you care, and it's truly a beautiful place. And once you really get to know Dahlonega and the people in it, it's definitely a great place to be.
Robert DePotti wants to know, is there any lithium deposits in the Dahlonega area?
If you count pyrite. I mean, from what I heard, there's a little bit of lithium in pyrite, but no, I haven't heard of any lithium deposits in Dahlonega. There's a lot of ilmenite, titanium.
I think that's a lot more north.
Yeah, it's more like North Carolina. I know about the whole eminent domain problem they're having up there, where the townspeople are trying to fight to get rid of a mine that they're supposedly having up there in North Carolina. I don't like politics, but I won't get into it.
Yeah.
They're going to take it one way or another if they want it bad enough. So
yeah, true.
So I know you were a tour guide at Consolidated Gold Mine, but I mean, I know what that is, but I don't think too many other people really know much about the Consolidated Gold Mine. Maybe you can kind of expand on that.
Well, I know it's an
Consolidated
old
Gold
mine.
Mine was one of the biggest gold mines in Dahlonega during the 1800s. So it ran from 1848 till 1898. About, I want to say, let's see. I know more than $5 million worth of gold was pulled out of that mine. And it shut down in 1898. And then when gold prices jumped back up in the 1980s, they opened the mine back up to process the mine again. And then in 1985, they were opening the mine back up and getting it all ready to process the gold that was still in the quartz veins there. And what happened is that right when they were about to open the mine, after they had put millions into the mine, the price of gold dropped. And so instead of shutting down, they decided to turn it into a tourist attraction, which basically they would do guided tours down underneath the ground, show how the old miners from the 1800s used the various different kinds of tools when it came to either hand drills, to the dynamite, to showing how they had only candles to light the areas down there, to pneumatic drills, which are these gigantic, huge thundering drills. Like they would blow out your eardrums if you ran them for more than a couple of hours. We ran them the drills for like 5 seconds to show just how loud they were. And let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the other things they have. They have a big giant area in there, which they have a glory pocket, and they found like 40, I want to say like 400 some ounces of gold in the one hole alone. The quartz vein was some 6 feet across. It was massive, and the hole where they dug into the mountain or into the rock is still there. And as you walk through this place is, by the way, is located underneath the Walmart in Dahlonega, which is pretty funny, and it's 220 feet underground.
Do they have a still working stamp mill like the Croissant does?
No, but they had their own mint. They had a stamp mill in there, and they had their own sort of mint growing inside Consolidated Gold Mine before they operated the mint building that's now located near the college in.
Well, that's oh no, that wasn't the
That was
mint.
the
That was the
Dahlonega mint
old
building.
courthouse. That is now the old courthouse is the museum in
Mm-hmm.
Dahlonega, right?
Right. Yeah, but UNG has a building that's probably, I think their main entrance hall. They have a dome that's up there where it's got about, I think they have some 40 ounces of gold that's coated over the dome, and then all that gold came from the gold in and around Dahlonega from the 1800s.
Well,
In fact, Tammy,
Dahlonega. Pardon?
go ahead. No, I was gonna say Tammy from Kristen Goldmine donated some 5 ounces of gold just recently to help redo touch-ups on the dome, which is
Tammy and
really
Tony
nice.
are really nice people.
They're
Yes,
great
they are.
people. Mm-hmm.
Did they ever catch the guys who ripped them off yet? That
No,
sucks.
no,
They
that was
got leads,
really
but that's
horrible.
it.
Man,
That
Yeah.
breaks my
that's
heart.
sad. Yeah, it
Yeah,
does, because Tammy's wonderful. When
he's good
Jesse and
people. They
I
are all good people.
when Jesse and I went down there, my friend MDV from Augusta, he came up to Dahlonega and we went to the croissant, met Tammy, Tony, the girls,
Mm-hmm.
and she let us pan a little, and she even let us operate a 12-volt, 1-inch submersible dredge in their panning area until some
Nice.
of the other patrons are like, what are they doing? They're not going to
Right.
keep that gold, are they? And we were just showing it to Tammy. And
Yeah.
but yeah, Tammy is awesome.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I wouldn't want to mess with some of their daughters. Aren't they like black belts or something?
Yeah, they're no joke. Yeah, Tammy, if I ever have a mining question or I have an issue that I'm dealing with, the first person I go to is Tammy. She always seems to have the best answer for me. So, she's a great person to know.
Yeah,
I would have to agree.
it was a pleasure meeting her.
Yeah,
And
if you go to,
learning.
I'm sorry, I was just
Go
going to
ahead.
tell people if you go to North Georgia, if you go to Dahlonega, that is like the #1 place that you have to go. If you're in Dahlonega, you have to go to the Croissant Gold Mine. It's just it's mandatory. So
Yeah.
Well, I would say 3 places for sure.
Yeah.
The croissant,
Mm-hmm.
the museum,
Yep.
and the Consolidated.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
As I
would
say,
definitely
also if
agree.
you need mining equipment, like pans and dredges and even trommels and sluices and all that type of stuff, Kristen sells it all.
Yeah,
They have
Yeah.
everything that you need.
they sure do.
And they also carry a wider range of Dream Map products.
They do. I have a lot of
Quite the
things on that
ride.
place that's on my wish list.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I just need like a $20,000 gift certificate to
Yeah,
the
right.
Croissant Gold Mine, and
Oh,
I'd be a happy
I'd go
camper.
crazy in there.
Yeah, I joke that that's where we're gonna have our wedding registry is at the Croissant Gold Mine, but I got chewed out for that one. So
Yeah. Probably
uh,
Carol. Cassie probably wouldn't like that too much. But she would take
Um,
all the rock. You take all the mining supplies. Is that the way it is?
yeah, yeah, I'm out for that 4-inch dredge with air. That's what I want.
well,
I want the backpack dredge.
in my experience, every prospector has started off as a rock hound.
I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I was not a rock hound, not even in the slightest.
Hey, you
I,
started out with
Really?
gold.
Yeah, I had no idea about rocks, and now I'm fairly knowledgeable about rocks because it's kind of you have to be if you're into gold. You got to learn about
Well,
rocks too.
maybe I
Yeah, you
should
have to know the
rephrase
geology.
that. Every every person who gets into prospecting soon gets into geology and earth science and becomes a rock hound.
Or the other way around, like Jeff.
I was gonna say I was backwards for me. I was into the rocks and I was into the minerals before I was into the gold.
Right.
But I had I had geology background and gemology and geology in my background for much longer than I was before I even moved to Dahlonega. So it just happened to come as a bonus when I moved to Dahlonega and realized just how much gold and the history of gold here in this town that they had. And I was just like, well, I just got to learn everything. And I just became a sponge.
He got the
and I just
fever.
tried to get as much of the knowledge as I could in a short amount of time. And so I happened to meet an old mentor of mine, Keith, and saw a guy panning in the river. And I asked him, I was like, "Are you finding anything? Are you doing any good?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing great." I was like, I said, "I've always wanted to learn how to do that." And he's like, "Well, what are you doing now?" I'm like, "Nothing." He's like, "Jump on in." He gave me a pan, gave me a shovel, and taught me everything I needed to know. And then he asked me at the end of the day, he's like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I'm like, "Nothing." He's like,
I'm going
"Come on back."
panning with you.
Yeah. And it just became this, like, took me under his wing and taught me everything and taught me about the area and taught me about the minerals and what to look for and how to read the rivers and how to find out where the pay streaks are and how gold usually ran and what sides of the banks and what sides of the rivers it runs through and this and that. I loved it. It was like, God sent to me. It's like light was shining down on me. Perfect.
Now, my friend Robert, have you found any Indian artifacts before?
Yes. I have a Cherokee pipe stem that I found panning one time, clay pipe bowl, and I found Cherokee spearheads. Let's see.
Now those are as good as nuggets, in my opinion.
Yeah, big old Cherokee spearhead.
That's a nice one right there.
Found this on the Chesapeake.
What
like
kind
a
of
red?
rock is that?
It's like a red jasper.
Oh.
But I found quartz arrowheads and bird points and all kinds of stuff. Moonshine jugs. Lots of old bottles. I'm a big bottle person too. I love collecting the old glass.
It's all treasure, Jeff.
It's all treasure. All of it is. Anything old or coins, relics, things like that. I love it all. Because I usually pan during the summer and metal detect in the winter. That's usually my gig. So
I'm sure
I'm a treasure hunter person. So.
Careless says mine are all flint. In Ohio, I bet you have some chert ones. Also careless.
I don't even know the difference between chert and flint. I thought they're pretty much the same thing.
Flint. Chert's more like you can kind of get some see-through in it. Flint, not so. It's more opaque. Yeah.
I agree with you, Brewer. Arrowheads are as good as gold.
As good as gold. Mm-hmm.
Both times I found 2 Adena points while prospecting. They were in my classifier, and they made me as happy as when I pulled pickers out of my pan. So,
yeah,
I'm just all treasure. That's right, all things
all
country.
Treasure. Yeah.
All treasure until that Discovery Channel hoarder show arrives.
Yeah.
All right, so let's think here. What else can we get into?
I was gonna say I get into a lot of gemstones too, as you know. One thing that Aaron makes fun of me about is whenever we're gold panning in a creek, I'm picking out all the garnets out of my pan and putting them in a little cup and keeping all my garnets or all my kyanite that I find. I probably have a couple of shoe boxes filled with garnets.
I know a river in Washington State by Index, Washington. What is it? The Still-Guamish, I think. It's been a long time since I've been back there, Jeff. So if I'm a little foggy on names of rivers and stuff,
Yeah.
forgive me. But the river flows through an old mining town of Index and was part of the Galena mining district at one time. And you said you like silver and copper mines and ores, malachite and stuff. You like this area. But there must be some big mass garnet schist up in the headwaters, because you put a sluice in the water and not long it's red. I mean, red with garnets.
Well, dude, Arizona was the same way. I mean, when I was out in Arizona, half the sand I was getting into was all garnet sand. I mean, it was beautiful out there. But yeah, it's weird though. Here in Georgia, it's like if I go to the Chestatee River, I'll find garnets that are like a pinkish red color. But if I go to, say, Cavender area, I'll find like a deep, deep red garnets. The garnets change versus different areas. These are the typical size garnets that we find that are out near the Chestatee. And then when we get to the Etowah,
stuff you'd find by Index, Washington, like that big one.
But then the Etowah has these. Sorry, I said Etowah has these massive garnets. I mean, we have golf ball size garnets in the Etowah. So, I mean,
those are almandine garnets, right? That's an almandine garnet.
These are almandine garnets.
But do you have any rhodolite garnets? Because a lot of people have never heard of that before. I've told somebody about garnets that grow in sheets. They grow in sheets, right?
Yes, sometimes. I do have rhodolite garnets that are in big, big nugget like these are. And the rhodolite garnets are purple. They're a deep purple color.
Beautiful.
I have a couple of different garnets that are rhodolites that are it's purple, 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 and then quartz running directly through it, and then purple, purple, purple. It's wild. I'm trying to think. Well, it's somewhere around
across any of the green garnets?
I do. I have demantoid garnets, but not around here. The most elusive garnet that I've been trying to find, and they say that it is in North Georgia, is the blue garnet.
Ooh, that'd be pretty.
Yeah. Apparently, there's only been like 6 or 7 ever found, and they were all found in North Georgia. And if you find one, it's like $10,000 a carat. So it's amazing. So
yeah,
bucket list
if it's gem quality,
well, it's just like the red emerald. It's like it doesn't have to be gem quality for it to reach big money. I mean, you go out to the Wawa Mountains in Utah and you find some red emeralds. It doesn't really matter the quality or the size it is.
This will give you guys an idea.
No matter what.
Here's my concentrates from Picker Canyon right here.
Yeah.
And look, all garnet.
It's ridiculous garnets in Picker Canyon. Picker Canyon, the bedrock is all mica schist.
Garnet Canyon.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah.
You get into the saprolite and you get into the bedrock, and it's just all garnets. And the way I used to tell people is if you're in an area where you're finding tons and handfuls of garnets, then you're on an area where there's probably good gold. The more garnets you have, the better the gold chances are.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see that garnet schist. So it's bedrock, and it looks like it's got bumps all in it, and the bedrock is just completely full of garnets.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And they can go check that spot out for themselves, right?
Absolutely.
Moto Mining's wondering if garnets and mica are associated.
Seems to be so.
Yeah,
seems to be so.
But garnets can be found in quartz. I mean, I have seen garnets in quartz before. I would say more like the almandine garnets are more associated with mica. That's when you find the mica schist. The mica schist is usually associated with the almandine garnets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loaded with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes it's that real pretty silver mica schist that has the garnets in it. So I mean, just the rock itself is beautiful, even if it didn't have garnets in it.
Yeah, the mica schist that's out at Picker Canyon is interesting because you'll have this deep gold almost, which tricks a lot of the miners that's out here in North Georgia because they think they're finding nuggets or big flakes of gold in the river, but really it's mica schist because it's stained iron color by the iron in the water, and it gives it almost that gold characteristic look. And then other areas it'll be a deep green mica schist that's with garnets all in it. So
I've seen just about every color of mica schist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and sometimes the mica schist turns into a gneiss, GNEISS, and so it's got these twisty, crazy swirls and patterns in it.
Yeah.
There's the bedrock is cool, you know. Rockhounds would like the bedrock. Let me take this giant piece of bedrock home. Because
we do that a lot. We have buckets full of the bedrock out there because it has the quartz stringers running through it, and so we're still debating on where the source is in that river is. And we're still thinking it's coming up through the quartz stringers, because we've been taking home a lot of the saprolite and decomposed bedrock home and crushing it, and finding ridiculous gold in it. We found just recently we found a really nice specimen with a picker in it. And it came from a quartz stringer. So we've been looking through all the quartz now very, very consistently.
Yeah.
Looking at all the tailings now, making sure we're not missing anything.
This guy looks at all the tailings. I just throw them aside.
Oh yeah, I'm picking through everything.
That's what was slowing me down on Lake Superior. I'm trying to move as much black sand as I could, and Judy be going through all the rocks, and I'm like, come on, I only have so big of something to operate with, and materials money, honey. Just stack those rocks over there and go through it later. Just keep shoveling that high banker. I was only using a micro banker from
nice.
Stream, but I did actually pretty good. I think I did 1.3 grams in about 4 hours.
Oh, that's better than I've ever done.
Well, in Vermont, I did 1.4 grams in a bedrock crack in a nice little brook in about 4.5 hours. Was a 15-hour drive to get to that spot, though, but I had a great time. But the real gold, Aaron, Jeff, the real gold was the people I was there with.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
I would have to agree. I've met some great people through gold prospecting as well. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, this past year I've been trying to soak up as much knowledge from some of my newfound friends that I've got. They're fountains of knowledge. Debbie has been a huge help for me. She's got, just like you, Ed, she's got some 30 years experience, and I've been just trying to get as much info from her as I can. I've picked up a couple of other panning buddies over the summer, and some of them I've taught how to pan, and they used to be fishermen, and now they're gold prospectors, and they said they gave away all their fishing equipment, and said they found their found hobby now, and they have caught the gold fever, something serious. So
it happens.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much.
No. Yeah, that first flake of gold my buddy found, he was hooked after that.
Yeah.
What's funny, I first moved from out west to Ohio because of my better half, right? Much like you, Aaron, I moved to Ohio for a woman. And yes, I mined. I had claims, small scale mining out west in Washington. I had 3 claims in Washington, 2 in Northern California. And of course, I don't anymore, but I came out here, went back out west. I wasn't doing no prospecting, even though I knew there was a community here and stuff. But I went back to Washington, ended up being for 8 months. And I started getting out in the mountains again. And that's actually when I started my YouTube channel. And when I came back, I pretty much hung up all my fishing poles and got back into prospecting here. I haven't touched my fishing poles in like 13 years.
I'm the same. I used to fish. I used to love to fish, and I haven't fished since in 3 years.
I went out with my brother sometime this summer, and I had to rig up my pole, and he was like, "Well, when was the last time that you touched your pole?" And I said, "Shoot, it's been 5 years." I was like, "We used to go out all the time in Florida. I mean, that was our main hobby in Florida was fishing." But it's funny, you know. The gold bug. Once I caught the gold bug, I couldn't stop. You know,
Yeah.
and it became my newfound favorite thing to do.
Why
You
would
know
you want to
what's
stop?
funny? You never look at, once you get bit by the gold bug, you never look at a river or stream the same
No,
again.
my buddy was saying the same thing when I taught him how to pan. He was in Gainesville and he had to do a job over there, and he said he was looking at all the creeks and going, "Look at all the quartz in this area. Oh my God, I wonder if this area's got got gold." And he said he was doing the same thing. He said it's apparently it's what I'm doing is rubbing off on him.
It rubs off easy.
Right.
It rubs off real easy. So be careful if you're not in the hobby yet. Your first time, and you're sunk.
All Things has a good comment here, and it can. I knew an old timer fly
Oh yeah,
fisherman in Washington who was also a prospector, and wherever he caught a fish, he would sample pan.
it's not a bad idea. I
Well,
had
where do fish like to hang out?
usually in deep holes, deep water, backwater eddies, and so on, swirls and so on.
Yeah.
You know,
Low pressure areas where they get
low
released
pressure
from the
areas.
current.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, plus there's the superstition of the guardians of the gold. So whenever
Yeah.
you find, a salamander or a crawfish or a trout swimming, you're like, oh, he's guarding the gold. I know he is. So I'm going to dig right there. And
I
Well,
thought it was the flipping crawdads that guard the gold.
yeah. Like your orange crawdad that you found that one time.
oh yeah, that was a cool one.
So I took a client out not too long back who brought their fly rods with them to so they could do panning for the first couple hours and then fly fishing for the last couple hours. And I said, "You sure?" He asked me if there was trout in that river, and I said, "I really don't even know." I said, "But it can't hurt to try."
Yeah.
So I just thought it was fun. I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, fishing do goes hand in hand."
I want to give a shout out to a Southern California metal detectorist, Robert Ferguson. If you're still here, thanks for hopping in the live stream. He's been on YouTube for a long time, and he detects a lot of the beaches I used to bum at and surf. So
Nice.
welcome. I went to tag my friend Robert DePotti, and his name popped up. So He must have been active in chat earlier, and I missed it.
So, Jeff, how many states have you found gold in?
Ooh, that's a good question. 3.
3?
Really 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Georgia, Arizona, and Tennessee.
Yeah. I'm up to 4 now. Ed's got all of us destroyed. I know
I
that.
was gonna say, I
But
see him counting fingers over there.
yeah, he's ready.
I am. I have to, or it's hard for me. You
Yeah.
know, California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Vermont,
Oh, Vermont. Didn't think about that one.
Ohio, North and South Carolina, and Georgia.
You've been to Maine too, though. Did you forget Maine?
I never prospected in Maine.
Oh, that's
Oh,
dark.
I've been to every state in the lower 48.
Yeah.
So
so
at
when we
least I'm
getting that
not
Alaska
counting
trip?
those, but my biggest gold came off the Scott River near the confluence at the Klamath in Northern California. It's where I found my biggest gold ever.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime. Oh yeah, Indiana too. You're right,
Indiana.
Bill. Indiana gold too, yeah.
That's
So,
funny. 12 states, yeah.
How about
A lot of
Canada?
people got
Have
some
you?
serious records under their belt. I've been to a lot of states, and I've prospected in a lot of states for rocks and minerals and stuff, but I haven't gold panned. Um, definitely need to broaden my areas.
now all things country's been to found gold in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire,
New Hampshire,
Arizona, Alaska. Not bad
Alaska.
considering I'm a Canadian.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, I know where
Shoot,
his
when I do
honey
Alaska.
hole is.
oh,
Well, I
oh
know
shoot, I forgot.
approximate location.
So I'm up to Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Ohio, and Missouri. Found gold.
Missouri.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
You have family in
and
Missouri?
I got family in Missouri. It's in the Kansas City area, and you would never think about it, but in the creek that I've played in, my whole life as a kid, it wasn't until I was
Oh, I
43 years old I found gold in Missouri.
Does
Robert's
metal
right
detecting for gold
too.
in Florida count?
I forgot Michigan. So Lake Superior, Michigan. So
Lake
there's another one.
Superior.
Ed will keep thinking of new states as the show goes on and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
No, I've never mined in BC yet, Moto.
Oh,
But
man, I
when
would
I
love
come
there, too.
visit you, Moto, on Vancouver Island, I'll have to
Yeah, I was
ask.
gonna say, yeah. After watching Dan Hurd, there's like, I want to go to the Fraser River so bad,
Yeah,
Throw a pan anywhere and find gold.
yeah, yeah. But if you don't like the cold,
Oh, shoot, man,
I guess it gets warm
I'll
up
make it
there in the
work.
summertime. I guess a little bit.
Wear a
Yeah,
wetsuit, Jeff. Wear a wetsuit.
yeah.
Believe me, that water's probably cold year round. On my
Oh, I know.
claims in Washington, the water never got above 41 degrees. Middle of summer, I'd be blue. My lips
Yeah,
would be like blue.
feet would
And
be concrete.
I'm wearing a 7 mil wetsuit with Farmer John, so I had 14 mils in my chest area, and my
Yeah.
lips still be blue. And after one tank, I had 2 hours run time. I had to get out and warm up. Okay,
Oh,
and next diver.
Hey Moto, don't hate on the microscope, man.
oh
If
yeah.
it wasn't for Zoom, my videos would be super boring.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you
I
zoom in on those
it's
gold
on my
picks.
bucket list, Terry. It's on my bucket list for sure. Australia.
Oh yeah.
One day I will get there.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as the financial means come into place. I'm gonna
Right.
travel all over the world looking for gold. That's the plan, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill.
That's my
Oh,
retirement right there.
that water out there is so cold you have to use zip ties on your junk to find it again. Oh, it is. It's like,
Damn.
are you kidding? I'm nice and warm, tucked up in your body somewhere. That Audi becomes an innie. It's so damn cold.
Oh
Yeah.
man. So I was gonna ask. So Jeff, I haven't
Yeah.
really done much mine exploration in terms of like underground mines. I know you took me in that one time, and I was scared
Yeah.
out
You
of my
hated it.
mind.
Yeah. You
No, I
you
didn't
were
hate it.
claustrophobic. You don't like
No, it
anything tight
wasn't.
spaces, but
It wasn't as much of it being a tight space. It was the fact that the bedrock was severely decomposed. And the guy that we were with, he was like, keep your voice down. The reverberation could cause a collapse. I'm like, bro, dude, if the reverberation is about to cause a collapse, like we got to get out of here. Cause yeah, but how many different, I mean,
there's no.
obviously the
If you noticed that
Consolidated.
there was no wood, inside the mines. It's all
Yeah.
hard rock mine inside there.
Yeah.
So there was no beams, no wood beams going through the mine, but there's rails going through the mine. There's 8 levels on that mine, and there's the 30 some entrances. Me and Keith mapped out the whole mountain. And we're talking about the Finley mine.
It's also
Um,
how they excavated their mine adits too, in tunnels. A lot of them
mhm,
would have a nice curve to it.
yeah,
So,
you can stand up and walk in there. The entrance to get into some of the mine shafts, though, are you have to crawl on your stomach and kind of really squeeze into some of the entrances. But once you get in, I mean, you can stand up and walk around in there. Some of the areas inside the mine are like cathedrals. It's like they're gigantic rooms where they were once big giant pockets at one point in time, and they found a lot of gold inside the Finley.
oh yeah, and they stoop it out, and next thing you know, you have a big, like you say, a big cathedral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So, but like,
there's sorry, I said there's a
no,
story that at the Finley. Before the capitalists pulled the plug on it, there is an area in one of the mine shafts where they pulled a 12-pound rock out, and 9 pounds of it was gold. And so it came from a gigantic quartz vein. And so, as you can imagine, me and Keith have been looking for that infamous shaft where that was found for years now, and we still haven't been able to find out where it is. We've studied maps, we've studied reports, we've studied everything, but we can't figure out
It's
where that
there
shaft.
waiting.
Yeah,
You might not be the one that discovers it, but
somebody will.
could be
so
like the young Reed kid, you know,
Yeah,
out playing in the creek and stubs his toe, or playing on something and finds it.
did you bring a metal detector into the mines? I know most of our gold in
we
Georgia
brought
is
a
really small.
pinpointer. We didn't
A
bring a full
pinpoint.
metal detector. We did bring the metal detector in a couple of shafts. We could get them in there, but we brought pinpointers, like the orange
Yeah, just
carrots.
find the vein and
Kind
just
of wave it around on the quartz veins to get a better idea of what we're looking at.
Gotta be
Uh,
really, really big to use a Garrett
I know.
carrot.
yeah.
Now, the
No.
MD20 is really good for small gold.
Hmm. But a lot of the
I'm
gold that they were pulling out of there was small. I mean, they had to use the cyanide back in the day and the mercury and so on to process the gold into the gold that they made.
a
So.
lot of times they put mercury on their plates right off the stamp mill.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They'd
Yeah.
have their copper plates that they coat with mercury, and it would catch the gold, but it was free milling gold down there, right? That they were
Yeah.
after. So why
Hmm.
would
Very
they
little
need
sulfides.
cyanide?
Well, I'm
Because
just thinking
besides,
about Consolidated. Consolidated Gold Mine, they used the cyanide. to process their ore.
Did you have sulfides at
No.
Yes.
Consolidated too?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So at the Cresson mine, all the cyanide tanks are still there. So if you go on the tour of the Cresson mine, you may not have noticed them if you stayed in the main part. But in the lower area, they've got 8. They look like cement mixers. I think there's 8 of them, and there's just these giant cyanide tanks. So I don't. So you think the cyanide is because of the sulfides, or is it just because of the size of the gold? Well, for whatever reason, though, they were into that cyanide in Georgia. For sure.
I think it was both. You know.
They could
Um,
use cyanide for both, either
yeah.
sulfides or free mill if it's micron. But to use a mixture of both mercury,
Amalgam. Yeah.
thank you, amalgamating your gold with your mercury, and using mercury slicks, and cyanide to seems like a lot of overkill.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, they've got their whole system still in place there. So they've got this. They got the stamp mill, and then at the end of the stamp mill, like you said, is the copper plates, and then that material that flows over that then goes through this elaborate system of piping that then goes into the cyanide tanks after that. So it does, like you said, it does seem like overkill, but their setup
They're
is
there
super
to get
elaborate.
it. They're
Yeah,
get it.
they were leaving
So
nothing. They were trying to leave nothing behind.
see,
So
I'm surprised they're not using flotation also then.
I mean, they may have been. I don't know.
They
But
may
next
have.
time you're down there, next time you're at the Cresson mine, just go
Yeah,
kind of.
I never got that elaborate tour. Their little walkthrough tour to the self tour
Yeah.
from their shop out to the stamp mill, then down to their panning areas. About as far as I went. Tammy and Tony never took me on a tour or nothing.
They won't. They won't take you there. They don't want. They don't want the liability of you going to where they're actually actively mining.
Mining.
But
Right. Yeah.
you weren't very far. If you would have looked over
Mhm.
one direction, you would have seen the giant cyanide tanks. They're there. They're just kind of down the hill a little bit. There's like a wooden fence there, like blocking it off, so you can't go down there. But you can see them, and all the pipe is all still in place there, and everything. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yes, David Villa, the Falcon MD-20 is the magic wand. And that's
Yeah.
what led me. I know the nugget I showed you earlier was a big nugget, but I was using a gold bug, Fisher gold bug in an MD-20 when I found that. We were talking about that. Why Gold says, you ever use the MD-20 from Falcon, the Falcon MD-20?
I want to. There's a lot of metal detectors that I would love to take down in there.
Now that's like a pinpointer, and
Is
it's
it like a pinpointer?
designed for small gold. You could
Okay.
find very small gold with it. It works great.
That's good. Good to know. I'll have to write that down.
No, that's a whole different gold bug you own, Randy, Scotty, Tony. The one I found the big nugget with was an old Fisher Gold Bug. You have my old Fisher Gold Bug Pro, brother. I'm glad it's working good for you.
Yeah, nobody told me what kind of detector that I should get before I went and bought my Garrett AT Max. I
Yeah, he
learned
has
my
the AT Max. I have the AT Pro, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's not a gold detector. I didn't know
No.
before I went and spent all that money on a detectors. Nobody told me. Nobody told me that I had to get one that was specifically, for gold as opposed
They're
to.
both good detectors.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, I was gonna say I was mainly looking for coins and relics to start off with before I even started getting into
well,
gold anyway.
then
So.
that's a really good detector to
Mhm.
get. I'm personally a Mine Lab guy. Even though
Yeah.
I've owned Garrett's, I've owned Whites and stuff like that, but
What do you think
the
of bounty
gold,
hunters? Do you like bounty hunters?
the bounty hunter,
Yeah.
it's not really the brand, it's the person behind it, and them knowing their machine. The key is knowing your machine. I've known some people that have found great stuff with the bounty hunter. One of my first detectors was a bounty hunter, and I didn't like it. I got rid of it, but that's me.
Yeah.
So,
I have a lot of friends who swear up and down that the whites are the best detectors.
some will say Mine Labs are the best. Garrett's the best. Uh,
It really depends on what you're searching for, I think.
All right, I got one
it,
for. I'm
it,
sorry.
it does depend what you're searching for. I have I think if I bought another detector without going way beyond my budget with like the okay, shoot, I forget it. The SDC, it's the folding pulse indication Mine
Yeah, the
Lab.
pulse. Yeah, that thing. I
It,
would love that thing. It goes deep.
it,
That thing goes deep.
it has good depth. It's a great detector. It's portable, really
Hmm.
portable. I forget the initials of it, but it's
Yeah.
like a $3,500 machine, or
Yeah,
the
yeah. The pulse
6,000.
conductor.
Yes, SDC 2300.
There it
That's the
is.
one that
Great
Yeah.
Two Toes
Thank
machine.
you,
had.
Ohio Relic Hunter.
Yeah.
That's what Top Cat uses. That's what Two Toes uses. That's what Bedrock Bennett uses. And I've seen them all get good gold with them. And like the 7,000, how much is that, Terry? Like 6 grand or
Yeah.
something? I'll
I've been
spend the
drilling at them over my
1,000.
Gold Prospector magazines.
I
So,
I I like my Knox 800. It has a prospecting mode. I have found gold with it, some nice gold, but you know, with 2 coils and 2 lower shaft, that alone was $1,000. Should I have got the
pretty
Gold
long.
Monster 1000 for the same price?
Oh, yeah.
I
Gold Bug
hear
and the Gold
that
Monster.
gets small
Yeah.
gold too. But
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have one of those detectors, high-end detectors like that, and go detect some of these giant tailings piles. Because everybody
Yeah.
says using a metal detector for gold in Georgia is a waste of time. Everybody says it's a waste of time. You'll never find gold with a metal detector in Georgia. I've seen one guy, REM
Hmm.
Outdoors. I saw him
Yeah.
find a flake with a metal detector in Georgia. But I just feel like if you had one of those really good ones,
Yeah,
I,
like a Gold Bug or
there's a
I
lot of
don't
Vision.
work in
know.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there's people that say to Matt that I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, our friend Matt, the
Yeah,
prospecting geologist.
yeah.
I'm sure
Hmm.
there's
Yeah.
people that say to him it's a waste of time to metal detect for gold in Virginia. And he does, and he finds some good gold. No, it's a waste of
So,
time. It's a totally waste of time if you don't try it.
if
Yeah.
you don't try it, yeah. Yeah, if
Well,
you don't get out there, at
people say
least
that about
try
the
it.
hobby in general. They think the hobby
Well,
in general, and
true.
if they haven't caught the fever yet, that the average person doesn't understand. Why are you wasting your time out there for $5? You know?
Right, right.
Yeah,
Well, that's because all they see is the monetary value of gold
yeah,
Hmm.
and not all the
All
world
everything
of
else.
other benefits that come along with it.
Right.
Unless you become all Sierra Madre and Humphrey Bogart and go crazy and want it all and kill everybody.
Yeah.
But that has not been my experience in the gold community. Yes, there's bad apples, there's bad people taking advantage of good people in the community, but in whole, the prospecting community is about the best community I've ever belonged to.
Yeah, the most close-knit people. Absolutely.
And
I'll have to agree.
And if someone shows their true stripes, being bad, it tears through the community like wildfire.
Yeah,
Sure will.
for sure.
Well, if you're out there gold hunting to get rich, you got the wrong hobby then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of Western thinking on my prospecting. I because out west, if you consider it recreational or hobby, you are not protected under the 1872 Mining Act. If you're a prospector or you're a small scale miner and it is part of your lifestyle, you are protected under the 1872 Mining Act.
And isn't that crazy? It's the exact opposite in Georgia. Like if you're not a hobbyist, you're shut down. You have to be a
If
hobbyist
you're in
or you can't.
commercial, yeah, they will
Yeah.
shut you down.
Well, that's the difference from this side of the Mississippi and that side of the
Yeah.
Mississippi. And every state's different,
Yeah.
Still up in New York until they changed the King's Law, technically any gold you find in New York is automatically the government's.
Didn't know that.
It's been that way since like the 1700s.
Really?
Now, is it enforced?
Not really, from what I understand. But if some if some real jerk ranger or somebody who knows the law and wants to be a real a-hole about it, he could be, because he has the right under the color of law.
Yeah. Well, he could also use that as an excuse to steal our gold, and then he's not actually giving it to the government. He's just taking it from you.
Probably, just like when they confiscate some guy's weed. You think they're going to turn in 2 joints to the cop shop? No, they're going to go smoke it and then go have donuts with their coffee. So,
oh, goodness. Man.
No gold in New York. Yeah. Move along. That's right. I catch and release,
Well,
but I do. New York is working on changing that, though.
I hope so.
Isn't that how it is in the UK still to this day, that all the gold is the crowns?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's considered the Queen's gold.
Ireland,
or the King's gold now.
Wales. All the UK.
Isn't it the same for Tasmania too, though, right?
Tasmania, that's what's saying. Tasmania, that's what Tassie Boys did a whole episode on that, on talk about how it's not really their gold and it's the King's gold.
It would really be all Australia and whole, right, you Aussies?
Right, yeah. Anything England, yeah.
Because it's the crown, it's not technically yours.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have some Aussies in here. I'm sure they could clarify that. Brad or Full of Gold. Terry, I'm sure he could, but I don't know how. I'm sure they have to pay a buttload of royalty on it. So
yeah, another thing that's weird that varies from state to state is on the who owns the stream bed. So like in Georgia, you can't just go prospect anywhere. So the water's public, but the stream bed is private.
Stream bed, which means you set foot on land off of your boat or something like that, then you're on someone's
even if you're in the water, if
in the river,
if your feet are touching the bottom, then you're trespassing. But other places like Virginia, Idaho,
that doesn't include
the water laws,
navigable waterways, though, right?
Well, it depends on what you consider a navigable waterway. In
What
Georgia, I
the
don't
Right.
know.
what the state considers navigable, because they'll
Yeah, I
have
don't.
a list.
Well, the biggest river I know of in the gold bearing areas,
Just
in
yeah.
Georgia, we have the Chattahoochee and the Chestatee, and both of those are the same way. The landowner owns the stream bed.
They go all the
So
way up into the middle of the river, as it
yeah,
so like
so the
Frank owns this
water,
side and Bob owns this side, and so they own up into the middle of the river.
the
That's
water
Say
how
itself
it
is
Frank
is
part
in
of.
Ohio, except for navigable rivers that the
Mm-hmm.
state deems navigable.
Okay.
Then it's state up to the high water mark. Now Washington, not sure how it is now. I've been away from home a long time. But in Washington, pretty much any body of water is public property.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you definitely got to check
Yeah.
your laws where you're at. So
Florida, it's different too.
And Terry Marshall says their royalty's only 10%.
huh.
And Brad Welsh goes, oh, wait, that ain't it. Brad
Where
Welsh
I'm looking at
says, my bloody gold, Ed, the
Gold
king
Edge.
can dig his own if he wants it.
Yeah.
Come and take it.
Hey, Brandon, how
Come
you
and take
doing?
my gold.
Toothpick mining. End up become a B flat miner out of bottom of a shaft. Come get my gold.
So I want to know, Jeff, like you showed one of your favorite gems earlier, but what's your
Mhm.
number one piece that you found here in Georgia? Not gold.
In Georgia.
Yeah.
Not gold?
I know you got to sit
It would
within
be
arm's reach.
it's too big to pick up. So, well, maybe not. It shouldn't have been here in Georgia, but I found it in Georgia. So I'm gonna
Uh,
see if I can do this here. This will be interesting.
Gail's wondering, what if the landowner has a Vrebo property?
I'm not sure what that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there.
Oh wow, look at that geode. Quartz
That's pretty.
geode?
Yeah. See, I had a buddy of mine tell me, he says he thinks it was a Kentucky geode, but I had it cut, had it sliced down the middle. This thing was yellow when I first, and they say he pulled about a gallon of mud out of the thing. But yeah, this thing is very big.
And it had mud on the
Geode.
inside. So there was mud on the inside before it was cut.
Yeah, yeah. And
Interesting.
there's holes on the outside of the thing that were all filled with clay and mud and everything. So
Yeah, we have no commercial traffic. Ohio Relic Hunter says the navigable waterway has commercial traffic, and there are no navigable waterways under that definition, unless you count people renting kayaks. Is that commercial? You're renting a kayak, you're exchanging money.
I guess
So
that's something more to explore. I know in Indiana they give a list of navigable waterways. I'm not sure about Ohio. I haven't been able to find it yet. But
interesting. All right.
he's laughing at renting kayaks though.
yeah,
Well, they do it.
they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
Appalachian Outfitters is all about renting their kayaks. So
Well,
big money in here in Dahlonega.
they do it quite a bit here in mid Ohio and lots of places. They have kayak liveries and canoe liveries where they rent. All my landowners are Army Corps of Engineers. They can be a real pain in the asses, Scott.
Yeah, they
I'm
can.
not a fan. Well,
And
Dawson
it's so
County
weird.
Forest has a lot of gold areas in there, and a lot of it's all Army Corps of Engineer property.
I got a feeling that they flooded some of those areas on purpose because of the gold.
Might be true.
Well, if you look at old maps of like good gold country,
Mhm.
California, Washington, Oregon, Arizona. They say there's no gold in Utah, but I know they're lying to me. Uh, but, you know, you look at where national monuments are and national parks, and I can guarantee you with almost 100% certainty that at one time all those were very rich mining districts.
Oh yeah. I mean the same here in Georgia, the state parks and the national
Yeah,
forests. There's some rich ground there that you
there
can't
is
touch.
very rich ground in there. Yeah, I have maps
Now
all over
you
Dawson County
you
Forest, and I would
you
love to
can't
get in there.
go into the national forest in Georgia and
But
prospect.
well, you can.
Yes and no. Yeah, there's areas inside Dawson County Forest where they'll let you pan, but then there's other areas where they won't.
Well, that's the county forest.
Yeah,
Well, but
What if
in the
it's
national forest here, the you can pan for gold unless it's a wildlife management area or a
right.
primary trout stream. But you can only
okay?
use a hand shovel. You cannot use a shovel like I
And
use.
number two,
Yeah,
Yeah, and then in state parks like Smith Gall Woods,
yeah,
is a state park here in Georgia, extremely rich ground, and you're not
yeah.
allowed to touch it at all whatsoever.
yeah, a lot of times state parks are out of bounds, but there are two state parks in Indiana you can pan. It's it's hands and pans only. You can use a small shovel. Um, but I think in Ohio, state
Dixie's
parks
not.
are out of
Yeah.
bounds.
Yeah. Isn't that like so? Sutter's Mill in California, isn't that a state park as well? But so it's hands and pans. I do know that out there.
Some of the state parks
Dixie's. Yep.
or state recreation areas in California, you're allowed to hand pan, but it's hands and pans.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and they change the rules, depending who the administration is. You know, one administration is like totally hands off, and the next one's like dig, drill, baby, drill, and opens up making mining laws easier and stuff. Uh, bureaucrats.
So Jeff, do you so with your digging it into Dahlonega, do you have any aspirations to grow it into a larger business, or do you plan on just kind of keeping it like you do on a more personal level, or
I want to keep it more on a post. I do want to grow it. I want to find some. That's kind of what the goal this winter is going to be: is to really try to branch out and try to find some more different locations. I would love to be able to find a spot that I can take people to on the Etowah, because I know that's a very popular area here in Dahlonega, and I have not met anyone yet that has property on the Etowah, other than Castleberry Bridge, which is a popular public spot you can go to. Um, but yes, right now it's about trying to find more locations, more places that I can, more choices people can have to go to different places. Um, I really do want to grow the business. I really want to keep it going. Um, and I just want to continue to teaching people the art of panning. That I want more people to get into the hobby of looking for gold and being able to enjoy the natural aspects of Dahlonega, and just so they can love it like I love it. I want
yeah.
people to get the gold fever.
Now, would you ever expand to one or two other employees to take a small group or an individual to this property while you're at another property?
Yeah, actually, I had talked about that earlier this year with someone. I have a friend of mine that was because I had a large group that I took out. I had some 4 or 5 people that I had brought out, and I knew that I couldn't be one-on-one with a lot of these people all at the same time. And I was going to bring a friend with me so he could help me, get to everyone at the same time and be able to teach them. And he had a pretty good general idea of how to pan, but he didn't really know the history of the town as well as I did, or the geology that as well as I did. But he certainly knew what to do in terms of teaching people how to pan.
Right.
But it's definitely something I've definitely thought of. If it got to a point where I was getting more tours in a week than I could handle, then I would definitely bring some people on and to help me out. That way, one person could go to this creek or river, and another person could go to this creek or river at the same day and the same times.
So yeah, we haven't really talked too much about the show that we were both on.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, if you guys don't know, the Discovery Channel show America's Backyard Gold with Dave Turin and Jeff and I were both on that show. I mean, we mentioned it earlier in the show that Jeff's the one that hooked me up with that. But the aftermath of that show, and how would you say that has affected the community and potential laws and regulations that might be affecting
I think once
Dahlonega?
the show came out, I think Yahulla really got hit hard, and you have to agree on that. We saw a serious uptick in people at Yahulla, and because of that, we saw a lot of rule breakers, a lot of people digging in the banks, a
Ooh,
lot of people
bad,
throwing their
bad,
tailings, a
bad.
lot of people, we saw a lot of people breaking rules, and me and Aaron had even thought about going to a city council meeting just to see if they could put up a sign basically saying what you can and can't do, if you come to this park and do this. And we figured we were going to get a lot of people coming to the area after the show aired. And we weren't knowing how many people were going to come or how many people did watch the show and so on. But they painted Dahlonega in a very good light when they did that show. They did that episode very well, I thought. And so we did see a drastic increase of people coming to the area to try to learn or to try their luck at striking it rich in our local
Well, we've noticed that on almost every episode they kind of exaggerated the dollar
They
value.
did. They certainly did. We talked about that.
That would get people interested,
Yeah,
For sure.
me and
then the
Aaron did an
trespassing.
episode on his channel talking about how the gold that they showed us finding on the Chestatee, they said that we found $30 worth of gold in that short amount of time that we ran material, and really it was more like 8. We really didn't find that much gold. In
And
fact,
that sounds,
it was only 20
$30
minutes
an
worth of
hour,
material that we
$30 an hour.
ran too.
Yeah.
So I
I'm not
mean,
working for
we had
$80 an
piles of
hour, but
stuff set up to run, and we never ran. We were just got caught in the moment of filming and everything, so we never ran the material that we had previously set up to run that day.
yeah,
Which was really a bummer. But
yeah.
because we
They
had
said,
like 4 hours of sluicing material that we had set off to
yeah,
the side, and we just
yeah. Well, I
got
mean, it
caught.
kind of worked out good because the gold that you
Yeah,
saw was literally just what we dug with Dave. Like
that's
the
it. Yeah,
actual,
just
but
those
they
few
were like,
shovel loads that you saw. Yeah, was just
yeah,
20 minutes of runtime,
yeah.
and that was
So,
it.
which we did pretty good. I mean, $5
We
of
did
gold
good.
in that short amount of
Oh yeah.
time is
Well,
Well,
is
that
pretty
that
good.
ain't
spot though
bad.
is crazy awesome though.
Yeah.
So I mean, that part of the Chestatee River is an area that was never dredged by the commercial miners back in the 1800s because the bedrock was too close to the surface. They couldn't get their barges back in there to dredge that area out. So essentially, that's kind of virgin ground. So it's
Well, they
an
didn't work
amazing
it.
spot.
Did you
Hmm?
have a lot of Chinese miners in the
We had a lot of
Dahlonega
Dutch.
area?
We had Chinese, Dutch, Swedish people. We had a lot of different nationalities. So the story is that the Chestatee River was only for the capitalists, only for the big money investors coming in. And if you wanted to, all the local miners that came in from other states and people from Georgia and so on, they panned the small branches and the Yohola Creek.
Okay.
And so it was really funny. It was just like how Knucklesville is. It was an outlaw area. I mean, people guarded their mining spots like crazy. I mean, with bare knuckle boxing to shooting to gangs, and it's funny too because it all was not about like it was all about where you were from. Like Tennessee boys owned this mining spot, and all Georgia boys owned this mining spot. There's one particular spot that was really popular. It was called the Petticoat Branch, and it was run by a group of women, and they would hide rocks inside their petticoats and pelt the other miners to keep them away from the spot. It was hilarious. But
Hence the name Petticoat Branch.
yeah, hence the name of the branch. Yeah.
So I
Go ahead.
apologize. Yeah, didn't mean to interrupt your thought there. But
Sure,
you made me think about since you've looked into the history a lot more than a lot of other people have. I had somebody I won't mention their name, but they were pretty adamant that there's no evidence that Native Americans mined gold in Georgia. And so what do you have to say about that in your research? Have you actually found that they really did, or is it just rumors? Or
I have seen some. So the Dutch and the Cherokee Indians used to work together. Before Dahlonega was made the town, Dahlonega, it was mostly Aurora, and so basically Dahlonega was just a mining camp for a long time before it was even established as a town. A lot of everybody lived in Knucklesville, which is what Aurora is.
Yeah.
And there's this gold road where everybody would take mule and cart up into where their mining area was, and they would stay in town in Knucklesville.
I guess more. Well, I was thinking about pre-gold rush. So before the white man found the
Right.
gold in 1827, obviously the Native Americans were here for hundreds or thousands of years. Like, is there any evidence that they knew about the gold themselves and were mining it before the gold rush?
They knew about the gold, but they were not mining it like on a large scale. They were taking gold and trading it for goods with white men. And the Dutch would help them in terms of language barrier between different areas. But the Dutch lived here in the area way before the gold rush started in the 1828.
And they already knew about the gold. They were just kind of keeping it a secret. Okay.
They were trying to keep it on the low, I guess, But
Interesting.
yeah.
All right. Wow, we really covered about a lot of
covered
different
a lot
subjects.
of ground.
Yeah, we covered a lot of different subjects for sure. When's it time for the gold? Well, I guess we already had the gold porn too. Yeah.
Yeah, we
I was
had
gonna say
treasure
Gold Rush Days
porn,
is coming
gold
up in
porn.
Dahlonega. If you want to come out and see Gold Rush Days, it's third weekend in October.
It's coming up.
Yep. It's a big festival that we have out here in Dahlonega. If you want to come learn more about Dahlonega and its history, come out and see the Gold Rush Days. It's kind of like a fall festival. It's got arts and crafts, vendors booths, great food, great music. Come out, say hi. I'll be out there.
You mean slinging rocks?
No, I'll be slinging business cards.
Oh, he didn't sell his rocks. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Now, everybody, before the show, I inquired to Jeff if he'd be willing to give away a 4-hour trip on the stream tonight, right? And
right.
I believe, if I remember right, he said yes, by all
Absolutely.
means. So, if you can't do it, and get down to Dahlonega to do it, please don't waste Jeff's time. But if you can and you're willing to travel next season and be able to hook up with Dave, go ahead, type hashtag day on the stream in the chat, and we'll let StreamYards pick it out if my damn StreamYards works.
Experiment time.
Well, one time it
Yeah, with
worked,
the
5
random
times
indicator.
it didn't. I'm not seeing no entries, even though I typed it out there, but
it looks like you're the winner, Ed.
Hey, yeah, the only person day on the stream is you. Nice.
But if I see it, I have other means I could do it. I could do
There we go.
There
We got an
go,
entry.
David. We got one.
We got an entry.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. David Bogans. He's ready
David
to get some
Bogan.
gold.
There we go.
Come on, enter it. But I'll get the wheel out.
All right.
I'll get the wheel o names out.
There we go. All right.
There's Ben Fork. I know Ben Fork will come. There we go.
Yeah.
So I'll start getting these guys who comment. David Bogan's in Georgia, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they moved. They might be in Bama.
Archaeology.
There we go. We
where
got.
you are,
There we go.
David. But David and Mita are good friends of mine. David Bogan and Mita, his lovely wife. Bent Fork. I'm not going to put prospecting, just Bent Fork. Zombies. There you go, Bill. Now, I would like to think I get a Alabama. I would. That's close. You're close. I would think I get
a lot of guys from Alabama come this way.
I would like to think I could get a special discount.
Yeah, Ed might get the friends and family discount.
17-hour ride for me.
Yeah, that's quite the drive.
It's from New York. Well, I was 15 hours to from here to New England. It's crazy how far people drive.
Yeah, the longest I think that someone had to drive to come panning with me was Louisiana.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
David Bogan
we had one not too long ago that drove up from Tallahassee and didn't even come to see the town. They just drove up, go panning with me, and then drove back down to Tallahassee.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, would you take them on a tour of the town if they wanted to?
Oh, absolutely. Shoot, I'd take them up to the mines.
Take them to the mines and the museum and let them see the gold in the brick in the courthouse.
Yeah, that's a neat thing to see.
Well, I see 3.
3. So you get David, archaeology and gold, and who else?
I saw Bent Fork, David Bogan, and Gail.
If you take Bent Fork though, he's going to get all your gold.
Oh, I know.
He runs some material now.
Well aware of
I think Bent Fork slammed through some material.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
This would probably
I'm just playing, Scott.
This would probably be for next season to everybody, and you could work with Jeff to schedule when. Let me say something in the room, Jeff. That way I could make you a moderator, and you could drop your email in there. take my butt straight to Picker Canyon. No, that's out of bounds, Scott.
It's only out of bounds if you go there without Jeff.
Yeah.
Now you're a moderator also, Jeff, so you could drop
Appreciate
your
it.
you could drop your website, your email, your Facebook page, or whatever.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Does a plane ticket come with it?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Dang it.
Dang it.
I'm taking up donations now for my plane ticket to Australia. So
Yeah. Start a GoFundMe page.
maybe I'll start an ugly foot page on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Because God, I have ugly feet. I think there I'd go broke too.
Goodness.
Yeah, go ahead. Throw your.
Let's see if I can.
You should be able to throw any link out there and your email also.
So do at least
Or just
do.
your
You can go
Facebook or
to. I want to do this. Go to.
Grab a flying kangaroo. I'd love to, Brad. One day, I'm just a poor white boy who has the gift of gab I'm trying to get better at. Love the lifestyle of prospecting in the community.
here, I'll get your actual Facebook link there.
Appreciate it. I was gonna say I'm trying to figure out how
I
to.
do have a link to Jeff's channel and Facebook down in the description.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Great.
Or you can put your phone number in. I put his phone number on mine. He was like, "Yeah, go ahead, put my phone number
I said,
on
go
there."
ahead. I have it on the back of my car. I mean, shoot, why not?
I guess that's true. It's on your card. Yeah.
It's on my
Yeah.
car. I drive around town with it labeled all across my car.
There you go. Shoot, put it out there. If you don't care, I don't care. Just
Yep.
watch the freaks.
Thanks, David Villa.
Excellent, David Villa. I need that also. Go fund help a prospector who kind of down on his luck. Help a prospector get to Australia so I could throw away my passport. Honey, I can't come back. I lost my passport. A drop bear ate my passport. I swear. I do Alaska too, Mitch.
Yeah, I would do Alaska too. Yeah.
Graveyard prospecting was also on Dave Turin's Backyard Gold in Oregon.
I liked that one. That was a really good one.
All right, I only see 3. Boy, the odds are good. I'm gonna. We're a little.
I wish I had odds like that when I played the lottery, right?
Right. I have a little. We're a little in overtime, but that's fine. I'm gonna set the timer for 3 minutes, and at 3 minutes, I'll share the screen, and we'll see who the lucky gold digger is. Out of Bent Fork, Archaeology and Gold, and David Bogan. Hey, Gail. I'm glad those cracks and crevices had some pretty gold in it.
I'll tell you what, after the
Still
storm,
waiting to see the video. Yeah, I bet.
Oh man, it came all the way down to bare bedrock. It was beautiful down there.
There's man, takes floods Got to move gravel to move gold.
And that's the thing. Like it helped out at Picker Canyon, but one of my spots, it did the opposite. Like,
it did the
a
opposite
place
for
where
you.
there was a lot of gold. Now
Took
the
the
gold
gold
was flushed out.
Shoved it downstream.
Yeah.
Hey Lou, how you doing, Indiana Tunes?
Well, we're hoping that Mr. Jeff Williams might go on a gold panning guide tour.
That was
here, so
we're hoping.
There's
Put
been a
it
few
into work
rumors.
now for months.
Been a
He
few
says he's coming to the
rumors.
East Coast.
Well, he goes to New York every year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you never
I've been trying to
know.
get him on there.
Come on down, Jeff.
Yeah. And you're gonna get wet.
Yeah. So come on. Let's go.
Let's go.
Smash that like button. Smash it hard. Real
Smash it
hard.
hard.
Harder than that.
Bring back Slim. Hit it hard.
Yeah, Slim.
That's funny.
It goes to New
Well,
York.
Heath Doty.
Government
Well,
gold.
shoot.
Dude,
I don't know.
I've learned a
Depends
lot
on
of
how long he
geology from
went.
that guy.
I might be an Ohio gold prospector by that time, Heath Doty, when it comes to next season. So
maybe
we should come on down if he does.
I mean, I can always come back, you know.
That's what I'm saying. You should just come back.
Yeah, then I could hitch a ride with Aaron.
There you go.
There you go.
Swing by, pick me up.
Make a giant
I've
party
already
out of
made
it.
the drive like 3 times.
All right.
There it is.
Here we go.
All right. Someone, if you want to get in it so I can add you. If
you don't have much time.
1
always
or
in your
5,
favor.
4, 3. Yeah, really good odds. 2, 1. Should we do it last man standing? Yeah, since we only have 3. Last man standing it is.
All right. Bent forward.
Look at that.
Well, it's not you, Bent Fork. Sorry, buddy. All right. Last one standing from this one wins the.
It's opposite.
So I was gonna say I thought it was Ben Fork for a second there. I was like, what the hell?
Last man standing. Okay. Now I'm with you. Oh, it's gonna make it. It's gonna make it.
Oh, so close.
So close.
Oh.
Sorry, David, Amita, Gail, congratulations.
You're going to have a blast hanging out with Gail. She's good people.
Yeah. Sweet.
Congratulations, Gail. Awesome. Oh, but you have to be here, Gail. Are you here? If not, it goes to David Bogan. Yeah.
Really?
She was here.
I saw her just a second ago. Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Oh, I could text her. No.
Yeah, really?
It's still taggable. It wasn't that long she commented.
No, it was just a second ago.
Okay, let's give her a minute.
Gail, where are you?
Where are you,
There
Gail?
she is.
All right.
Congratulations, Gail.
Sweet.
Contact Jeff and
Yep. We'll set you up.
Set you up.
You're good people,
Yeah.
Jeff. Good people.
Yeah.
You're the last woman standing. That you are, Gail. You are the wiener.
Are you on some kind of time delay, huh? Oh, whatever.
Look at the player. Hover over the player, and if it has a gray dot next to live, you're behind. Click on the live, turn it red, and you'll be caught up.
She's here.
She's here. You are the wiener. I want to thank you very much for doing this for the audience, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for...
It was absolutely a pleasure.
Shouting him out and saying I should invite him on, Aaron. And thank you for being my guest co-host tonight.
Yes, sir.
And let me figure out who I have next week. I have to bring up a note, which I should have had already up, but I did not. Next week, I'm having Dominic Ricca from the Lost Dutchman's Mining Association joining us. He's the director of activities for the Lost Dutchmans. And yeah, I thought it was too, Veronica. And should be a really good show. Really informative. I'm sure we'll be talking a bit about Lost Dutchman's Mining Association and what their going-ons are and whatnot. But StreamYard, fix your giveaway tool. Gee whiz, you jack up the price of it from $10 to $50, and your giveaway tool ain't even working. Oh my goodness. So I hope to see each and every one of you next week. I hope you all enjoyed the show as much as I did, if not more. On that note, may you always have a flash in your pan, and you never know, maybe one day too, we'll meet you on the river. I'm sure I'll meet Aaron before too long, and I hope to meet Jeff someday, and I have met a few of you out there. So until next time, did I say may you always have a flash in your pan? I think I did.
You already said that one.
I did bring up meet you one day on the river.
Yeah, we got that one.
Have heavy pans and always see some shining.
Yeah, there you go. What he said. But for right now, this very second, we're out of here. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Still me. Sorry.